take it. Bobby boy.
Yeah, when the truck's on.
Go ahead.
Now? Like right now? Okay. Hey, everybody. Drew Ceperley here from Bait WrX. Want to welcome you all to Tackle Talk, this first edition of Tackle Talk. We're going to try to bring this to you weekly. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host. What's your name, man?
I don't know. I thought y'all was waiting on you.
Brooke Bilateral, otherwise known as Brock.
Oh, well, what are we talking about?
Well, it's the first ever Tackle Talk. We're going to bring through you kind of a little state of the union of Bait WrX, maybe some new stuff that we have going on in the works, no pun intended. Some stuff we got back in, touch on kind of what's going on. So I guess today, just starting off with everybody, it's going to go, tomorrow, maybe Monday, this uploads?
Yep.
So 31st of January. Just give you guys a heads up out there if anybody wants to come see any of the Bait WrX folks. Hunter Utzler, who's one of the bait shop guys, myself will be going to Tulsa for the 2022 Tulsa Boat Sport and Tackle or Travel Show. Pardon me. This week that runs from the 31st of January to the 6th of February. That'll be in Tulsa at the Expo Center. So if anybody's in Tulsa and is like, man, I need to see these guys, come on out and say hi. I'd like to meet you. So kind of that out of the way.
Well,
go ahead. Don't step on your toes.
Yeah, so I think the goal of this is to show all you guys the new stuff that is coming in every week, and then some of our top selling stuff that during that season, that month, if it's during the spawn or whatever that case is, we'll be able to showcase this stuff to you every week.
Yeah, even outside of this Springfield region, we can get regionally specific on other topics, other areas. Season's kicking off in Florida, hot and heavy. We've got stuff to handle that. It's a good preface there. Good little forward, good interjection there. But so yeah, that's kind of be the point here, and moving forward, and just kind of let you guys know what's going on and keep you abreast of the fishing game and what's going on with us. Cut right to it. The biggest and most popular thing in Bait WrX right now, not a secret, Randy Blockett's old school jig. Unique custom designed head by Randy Blockett himself. Living rubber, skirt, multitude of colors, 3 different sizes. If you haven't heard about it by now, it's got a lot of buzz. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has gotten behind and supported this jig. Super overwhelming. We were not anticipating the amount of interest that this jig took in, and I just think it's awesome. So all you guys out there that got behind this product and bought it, man, I know we're behind on shipping, and we're working on getting them in and getting caught up as soon as we can. But I just think that is awesome that you guys have jumped in and gotten behind this thing. And I have actually got a chance to fish it a little bit, and that head design is phenomenal.
It is fantastic.
Comes through rock really well. Angled sides over here. I don't know if you can see it very well. I don't have a lot of color options, so black and chartreuse is what you got. So you might not be able to see it, but even that head design coming over dock cables, it keeps it from rolling, so you don't get that hook going into a dock cable or something. It keeps it flat going over that.
And in case you're wondering, over lily pad stems in Florida, it works too.
Yeah, just a phenomenal jig. Quality hand-tied skirt. Very stout hook. And, man, I'm just blown away by the interest, the phone calls, the orders, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders, thousands of jigs. Just thank you guys. It's been phenomenal. And we'll get everybody caught up and good to go and get this thing rolling. So that's awesome. So I just want to start out with that because that was a little joys and concerns, if you will, from the congregation. Just thank you guys. That was awesome. But to go along with that kind of launches a brand that we're going to push real heavily in the store called Valor. And that's kind of some lead-based stuff initially. Going to lead into some different things in the future. Right now, we have a fantastic little swim bait head that works great for little 2.8, 3.3 Kitech style baits. I don't know, Brock, have you fished this one much?
Yes, I actually have. On a spinning rod, throwing it over brush piles or just live scoping fish on Table Rock, or you can do that anywhere. But I really, really like them just for a little tiny Kitech, and then also not the normal Kitechs, but I forgot what they're called. They're not they're Kitech, but they're in the smaller.
The easy shiners.
Yes, those on these I really, really like.
Yeah, a little thinner bait.
Yeah.
It doesn't have so fat of a collar up here that it's going to split the ends. Needle sharp, little number 2/0, it's 2/0 Gami. Just a fantastic little head, available in 3/16, 5/16, and 7/16, and also available in those sizes with a single strand wire weed guard. So that's kind of out from Valor. And on top of that, we also have the Runt, which is a pretty phenomenal little Ned head. I know, Brock, you're kind of Ned known for out on tour and the Central Regional Drury Invitationals. But that little Ned head that hooks just a bit longer than some of the other heads out there, that shank is. So just gets it a little further back into than some of the traditional Ned heads. Again, a wire weed guard. Tapered head, doesn't hang out that easily. Really straight fall, slides around a little bit. Good head.
Yeah, with the longer shank, so everybody throws the Z-Man Ned rig, and they pull it apart, get the salt out, make it buoyant and whatnot. But one thing that I've actually been doing recently is I've been messing with the Robo Ned rigs, and I've been really liking those. And this is actually a perfect hook for that because that Robo worm is a little bit longer than the normal Z-Man Ned rig, and you need a little bit longer shank when you're dealing with that. But I just wanted to put that in there because you have to at some time you're gonna have to switch it up. Just like anything in fishing, you can't be throwing the same thing for year after year after year after year and expect to catch fish. You got to change.
They get
with
conditioned to it for sure. Also, if anybody saw, excuse me, I keep going back, but if you saw Randy Blockett's video a couple weeks ago about that little critter craw trick, great head for that. Really stands that craw up. Little pinchers getting that fighting position. It's a dandy for something like that too. When you kind of think outside the Ned and your little finesse TRD, this is a great head for any sort of applications. So,
what other stuff does Valor have?
So that's it at the moment. As far as lead-based stuff, but there's a shaky head that's going to be coming out. We've gotten some good design on that. That's kind of in the testing phase. Spinner baits are in the future. Buzz baits.
I know finesse.
There's a super light wire, kind of tiny finesse jig that we're definitely in the works. It's going to be real similar to this style head. Comes through the weeds, rock, brush really well. Going to have a hand-tied little tiny finesse skirt on there. Ultra clear water, high pressure type of situations. That's going to be a good one. That one's been in the testing phase for last year. Pretty excited for that one to come out. That's about it on the moment of Valor. I don't know if you have any.
I think you covered it. I will say those finesse jigs, though, they look really good. Where I know there's a big, the LBJ little brown jig and that whole deal. When you're fishing tournaments, finesse jigs are a huge deal. I think this might be that next step from a normal, Jewel or War Eagle or any of those normal finesse jigs. I think it's just a little bit different. But I guess we'll move on to the bait of the week this week. And actually, technically, they were those.
Technically, yeah, the Haze Dong Shad is our bait of the week this week. But more importantly, only bait of the week, also kind of talk about some mega bass swim baits in general, the Spark Shad, the Haze Dongs here, only because we had been out for a really long time and we just got a large shipment of these in just in time for that swim bait season, whether you like throwing a single or the A-rig. fully stocked up. Colors back in. So that's been really hot here locally. I know, and not just in this region, but kind of this time of year, many different parts of the country. Obviously the Haze-Dong here as well as Spark Shed, but Haze-Dong offered in a couple different sizes, variety of colors. That smaller one, little tiny swim bait head, something like that would work perfect on it. And you can drop shot that thing. It's a super versatile little bait.
I know the smaller. What's the smaller size of this? The 3.2.
3.2.
Yeah. So I was actually on the Ohio River, and you talked about drop shotting, and I was on the Ohio River, and I caught. On the Ohio River, you're fishing for about 3 bass because that's about all that live in there. So we were able to catch. I don't even know how many fish. Drop shotting one of these and just drifting, kind of like you do on Pickwick. Or any of those current lakes right at the gate of the water, and that one worked really good because this plastic's actually a little bit harder than what you'd think, and that's why I really liked it for that, the smaller one. But like he said, the normal
3 inch, it's a tiny little booger, yeah, but works fantastic.
Yeah,
and same thing to Spark Shads. So we have those. This is the 4-inch, but it's available in a 3-inch, 4-inch, or a 5. Same thing. Probably should have grabbed some mag drafts too, because those have been super hard to get since. I think I've been out since like May of those 6-inch mag drafts. And we also got those back in stock and ready to rock. But talk about a phenomenal bait that has been hard to get. We did get those back in. So if you're watching this or interested, get them now, because if they go out again, megabass they may be out for a while.
Yeah.
And that's not a sales pitch. That's just this year moving forward, inventory is going to be tough to come by, kind of as it has been. Just 2022 doesn't seem to be it's going to be any different. It's just going to be a continuation. Some frustration on the inventory levels. Guys can't. That's another thing I guess we can touch on. We've all been trained in that seasonality. In June, here locally, it's time to get my Zoom all monsters. Now it's into February, March. Now it's time to get my rock crawlers and my jerk baits. My Vision 110s, my mixed sticks. But kind of the way the industry's going is, if you see something in stock, get it. Yes, because if you're waiting for the season, sometimes that supply is not going to last.
Yeah, I highly doubt that those mag drafts will last when it comes. Immediate pre-spawn spawn. Yeah. Every mag draft will be sold out anywhere. Yeah. Because same thing like you said with the rock crawlers. We do have a lot of rock crawlers though.
Yes,
and some really good colors.
And we just got a big order of Spro in. But that's the thing, man. If it's gone, who knows how long we're going to be out. So if you like your red crawl, red bug, we have them now. I'd say get them now. Get yourself stocked up. So firetail crawl, that headhunter bait that came out with last year, that's been a super popular one. We're fully stocked on those as well. Going into jerkbait season, if you guys really haven't looked around on the site too much, but we have the headhunter jerkbaits. We've got the Spro mixed sticks. We've got X-Wraps. We have the Megabass Vision 110s, +1s, +2s.
Juniors.
Plus the 110 +1 juniors. Trick darters. We've got fully stocked on those, the old standby, which I've been blown away here recently, the amount of sales, and maybe it's probably outside the bass market as well, but man, Smithwicks.
Really?
Yeah, the old Pro Rogues, Super 8s, the Perfect 10s, that have been really selling well online. And man, just a fish catching bait too. So we even Lucky Craft pointers, we have those available as well. So if you're looking to stock up here, getting ready into that season, getting a little cabin fever, now's the time to get on it.
Yes.
Well,
is there anything else coming up?
Well, yeah, not immediately, but we can kind of start putting the nugget out there for you guys that may be interested. MLF this year, their Red Crest they're putting on the first time they're going to be doing an expo type event. That'll be in Tulsa. I want to say it's the end of March, right? I think it starts the 23rd through the 27th.
I don't know.
We can touch on that in future podcasts here and get that dialed in a little bit. But just to put that out there, that one's going to be a big one. And this is the first time they're really gone after this expo style. So if you have a favorite MLF pro, might not be in our booth, but man, if you want to come down and meet some guys, they're guaranteed with those off days, they're going to be in the show. So it's a great way to come and meet some great anglers, look at some new product.
Have they said anything about like how many booths that they're allowing for, like, not just Bait WrX? I'm just saying in general, like how big this event's going to be.
I'm not 100% sure. Still working on some of the details, but I would expect close to what a Bassmaster Classic would be in terms of the size and number of booths that are going to be there, vendors. Of course, your big ones, like General Tire, Grundon's, some of their flagship sponsors are going to be there, but as well, all your major boat brands and stuff like that, rod companies, Pure Fishing, I know is on board. There's going to be a lot of companies down there, and like I say, just one advantage over some of those other shows is those pros are going to be there.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's
you go ask them, hey, what are they biting on, and then they'll tell you, and you can run on over and go buy it.
Yeah. Well, if you're out of town and you've got access to like Kevin Van Dam, and you're going, hey man, I'm going to St. Clair this summer. What do you like up there? That's kind of an advantage. That you can get some.
That would be.
And maybe not one-on-one, but man, those guys they're going to be out there. They're going to be available. Which I think is pretty cool. So we do have that coming up in March. Also, I can say I think it'd be kind of neat. Maybe answer any questions. If you guys have any questions or anything, for us, feel free to submit them, get them to us. We're happy to answer them. Also, ideas, baits you want to see, stuff like that. We can.
Anything you guys want to see, how to rig, how to fish, where to fish, certain baits that maybe you don't really have in your part of your region and you kind of just want to take a look at, we can have them on this show and we can kind of talk about them. Or any lakes, we're very, very open on whatever you guys want to do. So if you guys just want to comment your questions or hit us up on social, no matter what, either way, we'll get that question and then we'll make sure to hit it that next week. But
excellent point, sir.
Well, awesome. Well, I think we're going to call it here because I'd say we covered everything we wanted. So
I hope so. We get enough. John, is that good? We get enough time?
Good.
All right.
Well, sweet.
Brock, till next week.
Hey, thank you. See you next week.
Guys, we appreciate it. Thank you.